Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
In the heart of the strange little world, a jade pendant, the voice-transmitting talisman Leo King gave them, hummed with life. It was their only hope to reunite. Suddenly, Mr. Griffin's voice crackled through it, cold and commanding.
Meet at a small mountain in the east.
Zane Martel, with the talisman in hand, didn't waste a second. He soared into the sky, cutting through the vast grassy expanse. As he flew, he could see the land stretch out beneath him, a tapestry of green and brown, dotted with patches of rocky terrain. The wind whipped around him, a constant reminder of the urgency of his mission. The jade pendant felt warm in his hand, its pulse synchronized with his heartbeat. The small mountain loomed in the distance, a solitary peak against the horizon. As he approached, the gathering of over 100 figures became visible, all representatives from the Zora Mountains. They stood in clusters, their faces turned towards the sky, watching his descent.
A small mountain in the east? We entered together. It has to be close. Let's go.
As Zane landed, the ground beneath him felt firm and solid, a stark contrast to the turbulent air he had just navigated. Figures emerged from the shadows, encircling him in a flash. Leonard Hunter, Ethan Reed, Julian Flynn, Ethan Storm, and Martin Skycloud. Their eyes burned with menace, a clear indication of their intent.
Zane Martel, how dare you show your face here? We couldn't kill you outside, but here you die.
Zane chuckled, unperturbed, his smile a challenge. The air around them grew tense, the silence heavy with anticipation.
Kill me? You think you can take me down now? I'm not that easy.
Leonard's eyes flashed with fury. His grip tightened on his sword, the blade gleaming in the dim light. With a powerful swing, a meteor-like blade sliced through the air toward Zane. At the same moment, Ethan Reed, radiating heat, his golden aura blazing, launched a punch like a searing sun.
Attack together, take him down.
Scorching golden rock.
The clash of energies was immediate and violent. Before Julian Flynn could react, Zane moved like a shadow, his fist smashing into Julian's chest. The impact was devastating, sending Julian crashing through the air, rolling across the ground with bones breaking with each agonizing tumble. The silence that followed was broken only by the distant rumble of Julian's crash into the mountain.
How dare you, Zane Martel, you bastard!
You call me a bastard. I'll show you what a bastard can do.
Zane, with the sky-killing sword in hand, advanced on Julian, the blade's cold edge against his neck. Julian's eyes were wide with terror, his breaths coming in ragged gasps.
No, please, don't kill me. I won't take revenge, I swear.
Mr. Griffin, watching from the sidelines, stepped forward, his voice icy, slicing through the tension. His presence alone seemed to command the attention of everyone present.
Enough, Zane. We're supposed to work together. Stop this.
Zane's eyes narrowed. He had seen Mr. Griffin's indifference before. Now this sudden command, it stank of betrayal. The air grew heavier, thick with unspoken threats and unfulfilled promises.
You didn't stop them when they ganged up on me. What's this, a change of heart or just another side of you? Are you really this hypocritical, Mr. Griffin? You stand by when they attack, but step in only when I defend myself. Tell me, why is that?
Mr. Griffin's expression darkened, his voice a low growl, each word heavy with threat. The air seemed to thicken with his anger, and his eyes bore into Zane with an intensity that could melt steel.
You don't get to question me. Stand down or face the consequences. Do you really think you can defy me and walk away unscathed? I have the power to crush you, Zane, and you're testing my patience.
What if I don't? What if I choose to fight? You think you can intimidate me into submission? I faced worse than you, Mr. Griffin, and I'm still standing, so go ahead. Make your move.
Zane's sword pressed closer to Julian's neck. The blade gleamed with deadly intent, and Julian's eyes widened in sheer terror. Mr. Griffin's spear glowed, a streak of light cutting through the tension. With a swift motion, the spear's radiance clashed with Zane's sword, pushing him back, his hands trembling from the force of the blow. Zane hit the ground, his expression a mix of shock and realization. The sheer power of Mr. Griffin's attack left him momentarily stunned. Mr. Griffin stood unscathed, his power unmistakable, a titan in the midst of lesser beings.
You don't belong here, Zane. Leave. Now. Your presence disrupts the harmony we need. You're a liability, and we can't afford to have you around.
Julian Flynn, now on his feet, spat with a mix of relief and contempt. His earlier fear replaced by a smug sense of superiority, emboldened by Mr. Griffin's intervention.
Get lost, Zane Martell. You're not welcome here. We don't need troublemakers like you disrupting our plans. Go crawl back to wherever you came from.
Fine. I never wanted to be part of your team anyway. Leonard Hunter, Ethan Reed will settle this later. Remember my words, this isn't over. Next time, there won't be anyone to save you.
With a final glare, Zane soared into the sky, leaving behind the tension-charged gathering. His heart pounded with the adrenaline of the confrontation, but his mind was already plotting his next move. He knew his strength needed to grow. Victor Quinn and Hugh were nowhere to be seen. Had they also decided to hunt for treasures alone? Where were Victor Quinn and Hugh? What treasures awaited them in the shadows of the strange little world? And what would Zane find as he ventured further, alone against the unknown? What secrets lie in wait? Who will rise and who will fall? After Zane Martell left, the tension among Leonard Hunter and his companions grew palpable. Zane's rapid progress had far exceeded their expectations.
Mr. Griffin, are we really going to let Zane walk away? He could be a major threat if he continues to grow stronger.
Leonard saluted Mr. Griffin, his uncertainty mirrored by Ethan Reed and Julian Flynn, who had all sworn loyalty to Mr. Griffin.
Zane is indeed talented, but what can he accomplish in the strange little world? Even if he had wings, he couldn't fly far, and he has no idea of the horrors that await him once night falls.
A sinister grin curled on Mr. Griffin's lips as he anticipated the chaos to come.
I want to see how those ghost soldiers tear him apart.
The mention of ghost soldiers brought a wicked gleam to the eyes of Leonard and the others.
You're really wise, Mr. Griffin. We're fortunate to follow you.
With the shadows deepening in the strange little world, Zane knew he had to grow stronger. The Zora Mountains were just a small piece of the vast tranquil sea region, and he had a long way to go. Leonard Hunter exchanged a glance with Ethan Reed, both men visibly unsettled by the recent developments. Zane's unexpected prowess had disrupted plans, and the implications of his potential threatened to unravel their carefully constructed strategies. Julian Flynn, standing a little apart from the group, clenched his fist in frustration.
Leonard, what if Mr. Griffin's underestimating him? Zane's strength is growing at an unprecedented rate. We can't afford to be complacent.
Damn it, Ethan. We've come too far to let some upstart ruin everything. We need a contingency plan. We can't just rely on the ghost soldiers to handle him.
You're right, Julian. But for now, we follow Mr. Griffin's lead. Zane might be strong, but he hasn't faced the full horror of this world. The night will show him his place.
The group's resolve hardened as they reaffirmed their loyalty to Mr. Griffin, despite their private doubts. They knew the risks of defying their leader were too great.
Leonard, you know as well as I do that Zane isn't an ordinary adversary. We've seen how quickly he adapts and grows. Relying solely on the ghost soldiers might be a mistake.
We can't let our guard down, not even for a second. If Zane survives the night, we need to be ready with a backup plan. We have to be prepared for the worst-case scenario.
Agreed. Let's focus on the immediate threat for now. If the ghost soldiers fail, we'll deal with Zane ourselves. Mr. Griffin's strategy has worked so far. We need to trust his judgment.
Leonard's words brought a semblance of calm to the group. They knew the risks, but they also knew the consequences of defying Mr. Griffin. Their faith in their leader's plan, though tinged with doubt, was their only anchor in the unpredictable world they navigated.
Let's hope Mr. Griffin's right. If Zane truly has no idea of the horrors that await him tonight, it might be our only advantage.
We need to stay vigilant. Every second counts, and we can't afford to make any mistakes.
With renewed determination, Leonard, Ethan, and Julian turned their focus back to the task at hand. The forest around them seemed to grow darker, the anticipation of the coming night adding weight to their every movement. As they prepared for what lay ahead, the shadows deepened, and the strange little world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the inevitable clash between Zane and the forces that sought to destroy him. Zane soared across a barren desert, his eyes catching glimpses of ash-black smoke curling around rocks. reminiscent of haunted souls. This eerie smoke lingered in the forests and grasslands too, cold and sinister.
I need to find a forest before dark and hunt some demonic beasts. Who knows what will happen in this desert at night?
Zane sped towards a distant forest, transforming into a brilliant swordlight. Explosions echoed through the forest as towering trees toppled. A deafening roar signaled the presence of a massive lizard-like demonic beast over 50 meters long, with a single horn and 6 powerful arms. Zane's swordlight pierced the beast's belly, leaving a gaping, bloody hole. The lizard collapsed, lifeless, and Zane appeared, ready to devour its essence.
Engulf.
As Zane absorbed the blood essence, dark gray smoke gathered around the corpse, emerging from the ground, trees, and stones. These smoke tendrils seemed alive but lacked any discernible intelligence.
What is this smoke? Is it the essence of this world? The spirits of the dead?
Zane pondered the mysterious smoke, choosing caution over curiosity. He decided to explore further into the woods. Zane pressed onward, his footsteps barely making a sound on the soft forest floor. The trees around him loomed like silent sentinels, their branches intertwining above to form a canopy that barely let any light through. As he moved deeper, he could feel the air grow colder, the oppressive weight of the forest pressing down on him. Each step was measured, his senses on high alert for any sign of danger.
There's something off about this place. It's like the forest itself is alive and watching.
As night fell, the forest plunged into an unnatural silence. The slightest sound was swallowed by the oppressive darkness. Zane found himself straining to hear anything, his eyes darting around to catch any movement in the shadows.
It's too quiet. What's going on?
Perched on a tree branch, Zane noticed that all creatures had hidden themselves as if dreading the night. He moved quickly, seeking a safe place to spend the night. He could feel the hairs on the back of his neck standing on end, a primal instinct warning him of the impending danger.
I need to find shelter before it gets any worse out here.
Zane's eyes scanned the area, searching for a cave or any natural formation that could offer some protection. His mind raced with thoughts of the ghost soldiers Mr. Griffin had mentioned. He knew he had to be prepared for whatever came his way. Suddenly, a chilling wail echoed from the woods. Black smoke began to seep from trees and the ground, hovering and emitting a faint black light.
Wait, what's that?
The smoke swirled and twisted, coalescing into a more defined shape. Zane watched in horrified fascination as the smoke transformed into a sinister ghost. Its upper body appeared almost human, with ragged clothes hanging off its spectral form, while its lower body remained a wisp of green smoke, weightless and eerie. The ghost's eyes glowed with a malevolent light, and its disheveled hair floated around its head like a dark halo. It pounced over as soon as he noticed Zane. What horrors await Zane in the darkness? Will he survive the night, or will the ghost claim him?